ABC. It's Nolan here to do indie vinyl update. This is the S's, and it's been a while since I've done indie vinyl. So for those of you who haven't seen it before, basically anything that is considered indie, as far as whatever people are calling indie these days, I try and fit within those parameters. Usually does not include much from the 80s. That ends up getting put into new wave, post-punk, or punk. And it's mostly stuff mid-90s to now. So I'm on the S's right now, and I've split the S's in half because I have a lot of S's. So we got like 14, 15 records here. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started. This is... not sure what's in here. I just grabbed it, and I'm hanging out after work, drinking High Life out of a Pabst Blue Ribbon koozie like an asshole. But yeah, we're just here to have a good time and show some records. We've got the Shins, Oh Inverted World. You know, every indie fan loves the Shins. 2001, Sub Pop Records. Famous for, I don't know, everything. Its inclusion in Garden State, I think, it broke this record, so to speak, which laid the groundwork for all the attention and money that the band got for this record, Shoots Too Narrow. And this was 2003 Sub Pop. I think this improves upon the predecessor, but I like them both. I recently revisited Oh Inverted World a couple weeks ago for the first time in a while, probably 2 years or so, and I think I do prefer Shoots Too Narrow. Just a great record. Indie pop, very enthusiastic with great lyrics. James Mercer, principal songwriter, is a fantastic lyricist. And I really appreciate his work, especially the track Young Pilgrims on Shoots Too Narrow is fantastic. Okay. Next album is by a band. You know, I haven't followed up on this band, Showly. This is on Quarter Stick Records, who, right when this album was released, I remembered I was looking forward to this record, and then Quarter Stick went out of business. This came out in 2009, and it's indie math rock pop. It's produced. The reason that I bought it, I read a press release when I was working at the record store. Press releases were, I never knew about this world of press releases and free promos, and it was amazing. So we got a promo of this CD. And what hooked me was the fact that Greg Saunier, the drummer of Deerhoof, produced this album. And you can tell the drumming is very creative. There's insert. Anyway, it eventually was released through another distributor. I was able to get my hands on it, and I think it's a nice little overlooked release from 2009. Like I said, recommended if you like anything that's mathy but poppy. Bands like Pinback, I think, is a good example of that. I enjoyed it. I actually, for the next 4 records, I made a video just about these records, so I'm going to show them briefly. You can go back to the Skeletons video and my history and check it out, but just briefly, Skeletons and the Girl-Faced Boys. This is 2005 Ghostly International, and Matt Leahy, I think is how you pronounce his name. Matt Milan is how you say his name. This is the first record he released, officially. He had some EPs and CDRs and stuff. Before that, very good, very danceable indie electronica sort of stuff. This record blew my mind a little bit when I got it, and it's still one of my favorites. It was followed up with Lucas. He changed the band name to Kings of All Cities. band name thing is very confusing here. Great album. A little front-loaded. Great nonetheless. Actually got this from Amoeba Records on great vinyl. And kind of a different approach from their previous album. I know I have a video about these guys, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. This is their album Money. This came out on Tom Lab in 2008. It's a double album. I am about to show a graphic image, so cover your children's eyes. It's a great album. This is where they took more of the overdubbed sound of the predecessors and got kind of more of a live sound with this. You know, it ventures into free jazz, into dream pop, into post-punk, into twee. You know, it's really these guys. You know, I'm a huge fan of indie pop and twee, and I say twee. I wish I had a better word, but you know, sort of affected kind of a cuteness to the music. This is like, it's as experimental as it is, it still has this kind of cuteness to it, which is interesting. But it's really dark. This stuff, the subject matter on this album, it's very good. Next album, I think, is one of their best. People, if not, I think it's their best. The lyrics, the instrumentation, further goes along the big band line, and you know they've since abandoned their electronic roots. And I have noticed that Matt Milan has started a new side project that kind of goes back to those electronic roots, which I'm very excited about. They have a couple of 7-inches out. Hoping an LP will be out in the future, but it's a wonderful album. Shows the nastiness, but also the greatness inside of ourselves. They're a small label regardless. They do small runs. I think this is one of 500 maybe. Their new album I have not purchased yet. It's also one of 500. I should probably get on that. That is an indie classic right here. Slater Kinney's Dig Me Out. Girlfriend loves this record. I love this record. I still want, there's a couple other Slater Kinneys that I want. I remember my stepdad trying to play this for me when I was like in 5th grade and just did not understand. It's since gone back. You know, the vocals can be hard for some people to get over, but just a very enthusiastic young record that just has a lot to say. I'm not sure why this next record is in indie. The trouble with genre, organizing your records by genre, is it's hard for some categories, and I don't have a hard rock category or a like 90s alternative. So a lot of my 90s alternative ends up in here. Siamese Dream by Smashing Pumpkins. This is actually my girlfriend's record, which is, if you don't know my girlfriend, it'd be great if you guys did. She's great, but you would be like, why does she have this record? But I'm glad she does. There's been a few times I've come home and been really glad that this record was around. It's on this nice colored vinyl here. And this originally came out, I'm going to take a guess, 93? Yeah, 93 Virgin Records. Great album. Really like the follow-up, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, but I don't like it enough to spend $80 on it, on the box set. But it's a great album, big on my middle school years. Next 3 albums. Yes. I want more of this artist, but I'm settling with what I have for now. Smog's Red Apple Falls. Wonderful record. Folky bedroom pop. Not pop, but like miserablest. You know, this is some gloomy music made in the bedroom. Indie. Jim O'Rourke is all over this album. Bill Callahan, who I've shown in the Indie Vinyl series before, is Smog. And This is his album Red Apple Falls from Drag City Records on 97. Fantastic. Fantastic record. From this period, also been trying to keep an eye out for Knock Knock. Haven't had too much luck. You know, that's how it goes. You can't have it all. One day you'll get something good. Hope to get that one day. This one actually, I found surprisingly in like a 50-cent bin. It had to have been an accident. I was really glad to find this because I hadn't listened to this Smog album before, Rain on Lens. And this is also on Drag City. And this is later. This is 2001. Very good. It's a lot like the cover. It's very, very moody. It's like Rain on Lens. Fantastic record. Love Smog. Last Smog record on here is the Smog record that introduced me to the wonderfulness that is Smog, and that's A River Ain't Too Much to Love. This is a 10 to me. This is on Drag City, I want to say 2003. Date is not listed with that. I don't know, guys. 2004. 2005. Just a great album. I went through this period in 2005 where I bought a CD binder. One of those like big old CD binders, if you guys remember those. And my goal was to buy the binder and fill it all up with CDRs of new bands and stuff, and just kind of went on a binge of new music because I'd just gone out of high school and was, you know, I don't know. I kind of wanted to broaden my horizons, and this is one of the ones that I just could not stop listening to. He would go on to further explore the sound on this record in his solo career. He's since gone back closer to Smog stuff with his last record, Apocalypse, which I unfortunately do not have, but is a great record. Next is this is a great album, The Soft Moon. This is 2010, and this is the solo project of Luis Vasquez, and it's just cold, synth-driven, mostly instrumental music. Dark wave, I think, is a word used at some point to describe this kind of music. This is one of the first Capture Tracks albums that I bought, a label that I love. And he's since had an EP, and he just had a new album come out. I can't say that I was excited about it as I was this, but this is definitely a mood album, and I'm not always in the mood for it. But when I am, it's perfect. Highly recommend it. Just alienating, or the music of alienation, you know? Alright, we got two more. We're going through this. This actually was just watching Travis's videos, and he just showed this as a grail. It's a grail for me too, man. Sonic Youth LP. Goo. This is released 1990. Unfortunately, my only Sonic Youth, but fortunately one of my favorite Sonic Youths. The song Disappearer, beautiful. Love it. I don't know why I'm showing it, but this was great. I found this at an antique store for, you can see that, $6. $6. They had a couple other Sonic Youths, and I was like, no, I just want this one. And I should have picked the other ones up. I really should have. They had Dirty and Sister, but honestly, a lot of people had heard about this 90s collection that got dropped off at this antique store, and I didn't want to be greedy. You know, I worked in a record store, and I had plenty of opportunities for stuff like that. Anyway, Goo's great. Actually going to set this aside to listen to. Last, it's an interesting last one. Sunny in the Sunsets, hit after hit. This is one of my girlfriend's records. Bought during a period she had in 2010, the summer of 2010, where she just bought all of these really cool indie pop albums. This is on Fat Possum Records, a record who, along with Captured Tracks and Slumberland, are probably, those are my three favorite indie labels at the moment. You could probably throw in Jaguar in there, and Dead Oceans maybe, but this is just a lot of fun. Great songwriting, young songwriter. The album he released after this, Sunny in the Sunsets, was, I think, a little bit more country, alt country tinge, but this is just straight up summer indie pop. Laid back, very enjoyable. They're just hanging out. It's good. Those are my S's. So thanks for tuning in. If you watched, if you're interested in that, part 2 will come soon. Not sure when. I just do these whenever I get the chance. You know, I've been working a lot more lately, so these videos are few and far between, but you know, I still want to do them. So when free time comes up, I try to make a video. But y'all take it easy. VC cheer.